Hi team, Marina here, jumping in super quick to talk about the importance and the distinction between towards and away from motivation. So very often in my career, I've helped people create massive change in their health, or maybe completely redesign their career path, or create new relationships, essentially, through Dream Builder and all of the different programs I've run. Positive change facilitation has been the name of the game. And what I've noticed in that time is that there was always people who seemed to intrinsically and instinctually create the shift, and then there were those that didn't. And then as I studied deeper into human behavior and why we do what we do, what I realized is it's this distinction between towards motivation and away from motivation. And I wanted to raise this because if you're doing one or the other in your life and you're seeing a certain level of result, then knowing the distinction could be one of the key things that enables you to flick the switch and create more change for yourself. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is simply this. Let's use a story. Let's use an example. So let's say you're a woman who wants to lose weight, or a man who wants to lose weight, and you're here and you're like, oh, I've got a thick tire around my middle. I feel really disgusting. I don't want to go to the beach. I don't like how I feel with this spare tire and all this blah, 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 blah. And then all the story starts and all the self-hate starts, right? And then you're like, I need to lose 5 kilos. That's what I need to do. I need to lose 5 kilos and then I'll feel better, right? And so what happens is your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that hears what you want and then filters for it, and then the part of the universe that hears that message and says, I've got you, because remember, perfect accounting system, the universe. You want to lose weight, Marina? No problems. I'll help you lose 5 kilos. I gotcha. And so, of course, here you are and you start eating better, moving better. Shock horror. What happens? You lose some weight. You start losing some weight. You start to move away from this spare tire and you start to, lose it. And you get to 5 kilos and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I just love who I am. This is the best ever. And then you kind of see a piece of pie or a pizza or whatever and you're like, well, a little bit won't hurt. And we can do all this cognitive stuff and it's actually not so much about behavior. I want to just stay focused on what happens. And so then what happens is before we blink, right, we're kind of back where we started and we're like, oh, I sabotaged. Which I have a video on self-sabotage, go watch it. It's slightly different to this one because this one, you actually had an away from motivation. You were moving away from a spare tire. You set a goal of losing 5 kilos and you lost the weight. You said, I want to lose weight. So you lost the weight. The universe heard you and it co-created that reality with you. But because you were never going anywhere, but rather away from something, then what happened is you went back to where you started so you can continue to have that which you requested in perpetuity, which is a form of purgatory really, because now you get the experience of losing weight with never keeping it off, but that was never your goal, was it? It's not what you said. So this was an away from motivation. It's the same as like when we have no money and it's like, I just need to not be broke. I just need a little bit of money so I'm not broke. So we get a little bit of money and then we go back to broke so we can keep having that experience. Because what we're lacking, and I have a whole video on this, so go and watch it, is vision. What we're lacking is a vision that tows us, a vision that is so compelling, that brings us to a way of being, that when we're there, there is no going back from it. So feel the difference. So this is, I want to lose 5 kilos because I hate my spare tire. Vroom, 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 vroom. Cycle of repeat. Versus, okay, I'm here. Now, what I really want to be is this version of myself where I eat in a way that really nourishes my body, where I relate in a really calm way to food. I don't feel like I need to overindulge, and yet nothing is restrictive. I move my body every day, and because I'm this person who is kind of like really loving of him or herself, I also treat people better here. And in fact, I show up at work with more energy, and I'm more creative. And because I'm more creative and I have more energy, I'm kinder to people, and people really like me. And so I earn more money. And in this space, I also feel sexier, and my relationships are richer. And can you guys see the point? In this vision, in this towards motivation, I've created a way of being, a reality that is so far beyond just my weight, which is kind of like what I don't want, and away from motivation, and transitioned it into who do I need to be to effortlessly create a reality where weight is kind of no longer an issue at all. And in fact, I've got so much other joy and goodness that why would I not want to stay here? This higher self stuff that I like to teach and making sure it's aligned with your true values and your heart space, that stuff just pulls you. And I suppose that's probably the biggest distinction between why a program like Dream Builder works over people who go into accountability training or productivity training and learn how to hit goals. Because when you do that, you're often very much in a space of just avoiding or shifting away from discomfort as opposed to moving into a new you. And for people who are constantly on an ascension or growth pathway, all we're actually doing is constantly moving towards new and more empowered, higher versions of ourselves. And our higher self is essentially the role model that we use to keep shifting and upgrading. So I hope that was valuable. I hope that was helpful. If it was, drop me a comment, let me know, like, share, etc., etc. Guys, I get stuck too. I only know this stuff because I've been there. As I always like to say, I am you, I see you, I am you, and I love you is actually what I like to say. And that all of you is welcome here. Please make no parts of yourself wrong. Please bring your light to the world, and please magnify your more, because we need you. I love you, I see you, and I am you. Take care, guys.